Hey guys, I wanted to do some example solves today, and I'm just gonna go over as much of my thought process that I think I would have in a solve as possible. So first scramble, white cross looks good. There is this, what looks to be preservable. I don't see how I can preserve this on yellow, so I'm just gonna go with white. Pretty obvious cross solution. I'm just not sure if I want to do the FR or the L or L prime first to get a free pair. I'm going to preserve the red and green pair, and then I do FR, L, D, L prime, D, R prime, and that preserves this. And while I'm solving this, I already see this corner in the top, I see this corner in the front. So my next pair is going to be either blue, orange, or green, orange. So as I'm inserting it, I also see the blue, orange edge, so I'll probably just go with that. And unfortunately, this is a diag second pair, but I've basically seen the entire cube now. I've seen these two slots. I inserted into this slot, and now I'm rotating this way. So I've basically already seen the entire cube. So my look ahead will be fine. And I'm going to solve this next with keyhole. Oh wait, I meant to do a D2, sorry. It's hard to remember that on camera. And then this pair. And then I finally learned the better alg for this. Just track that this edge is going to go here. So this will be an R perm. Okay. So that's solve one. So there's there's nothing on the yellow face. So as soon as I see this on the yellow face, it's automatically okay, yellow's probably not good. And I think white's just better, even though it's not that good. I think I would do the green and orange pair because it doesn't look like anything else will be in the top. So I would group the orange and green together, and then I would do an R move to start D prime to get the blue in the right spot, and then FR. And then you can either do D prime B2 or U prime L2. I'm just gonna do U prime L2 D prime to have better finger tricks, and it just flows right into this. And for look ahead, I see this edge and I see what's in this slot, and I do see this corner as well. So based on what I see just in the front and the top, I'm probably gonna go with red and blue for my next pair. What I could do, I doubt I would see this in a solve, but I could either I could either sledge, which doesn't lead to a good pair, or do L prime U to L, which actually leads to a free pair. So whenever you're gonna get this pair, you can often do a different insert for it and then get a way better pair. So I would definitely do this second. And at this point, the blue and orange edge has come into the top. If it hadn't, then I would know it's in this slot. And so I would know to kind of glance this way and see what that is. And then this pair is my only choice for third pair. And then as I'm doing this, the green and orange, or green red, is coming out. So I'll do that last. Pretty obvious pair solutions. I may as well just do a cool alg for this that does CP as well. And then fancy U-term with R moves. That's solved too. I feel like we need more example solves on the internet. So I'm looking at green, red, and blue, red. Those look like they're going to end up in the top. So I'll just go ahead and do the cross. D prime, and then I could do either R and then F prime L2, or the F prime L2 first and then the R. I'm gonna do F prime L2 first, because then this pair goes into the top layer and this edge stays oriented. And then D prime. And then I'll go ahead and just solve the back left pair first. And also, if I solve this pair first, it leaves me with a worse second pair. So I'll go ahead and do this first. And I honestly, like, I doubt I would see the green and orange because both pieces started out in the bottom layer. That is something I'm trying to work on, is like checking more of like pieces that might come out of the bottom layer and like opting to maybe do them for my pairs. But assuming like this is a normal solve and I don't see that, I would just do this. And then it would be pretty easy to look ahead because the corner's gonna go into this slot and the edge is just gonna do a U2. And then I would do this pair next. And I could do a sledge here. I may as well just do a sledge. Why not? Actually, so if I don't do a sledge, I end up with this. And I could get EO, but it'd be not the greatest fourth pair. I don't know. It doesn't matter if you sledge there. That's another thing I'm experimenting with, is like sledging for my third pair to influence fourth pair. I don't like to sledge much for the first two pairs because like it's just a lot harder to track like your F12 pieces when so many things are moving around. All right, so I'm definitely doing white here. Essentially a 2-move cross, but I can make a free pair out of red and green. Okay, this is pretty good. So in a solve, I would know that red green, I'm gonna make it a free pair, and then I would probably just like I would try to plan the red and blue pair in inspection, and then if I get to 12 seconds and I haven't figured it out, I'll just trace it while I'm solving this pair. And in this case, it does end up being pretty good. I did know that green and orange would be like okay, but this is not nearly as good as this. And also, since I solved this pair and now I'm rotating this way, the only like information I don't have on the cube is what's in this slot. So I'll pay attention to what happens when I insert this. Keeping in mind that if I like can't figure it out in time, I can just resort to solving this. And I'll just solve this first. And then I can solve this with a sledge and get something kind of blocky. I don't know what field it's gonna be. G prim. Okay. I would like to have done yellow, and I think I can do yellow here. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely doing yellow because there is an X cross on yellow. So I'm looking at the orange and blue for X cross. Right now it's misoriented, but it will be oriented right here when I do, so R, F prime, L, F2. And then I have this block here, and unfortunately, like, this is gonna end up back there. So I could do pseudo slotting for the first two pairs. I'm just gonna do that since it's like relatively obvious. So this pseudo slot is basically like this. It's gonna be like this case. So put the edge right here and then do double sexy. And both of my edges are oriented, so this is actually gonna be a rotationless solve. And look at that. Wow, okay. This is crazy. Until I get a Z perm, okay. and do the good Z perm, do this one. Yeah. All right, that's 5 example solves. Let's just go for 8, why not? Just make it a super long video and give you guys a ton of examples on like how to look ahead, how to like plan the best first pair, some neat tricks. Okay. So yellow is looking better. I can make a free pair with the red and green, so I'm just gonna do that. Like in inspection, I would probably be able to like figure out how to make red and green free, and then I would just do that. Like I wouldn't even plan anything else. So I'll just show you, I do B2 to solve blue, and then L. And when I was doing inspection, I considered doing R2 first and then U, L, F prime. But that would put this in the bottom layer, and I don't want that to be. So I do L first, and then solve the green edge with the red. And then before I do the F, I'm gonna do a U prime F. And you could also do U prime and then like go like this at the same time. Because you're gonna do an R and then solve this like 2gen anyway. So, okay, this is a difficult situation for look ahead into second pair. I would be looking in this slot and then seeing that this is red and like hoping that it's blue right here. It isn't though, so I just have to rely on what comes out of this slot. And this corner comes out, so I know this has blue on it. But if you like know corner recognition, you know this is red, not orange. So that means if this has blue on it, it has to be orange over here. So I would do this pair next. I guess it's possible that I could also see the green and orange pair, and then I could create a free pair like that and then solve it. But I would probably see blue and orange. And then definitely like rotate before solving this. And okay, this is another example where like if I solve the pair like this, it leads to this case. So I, like in a solve, I might just do R prime U2, R2, U2, R prime, and then get a better case, not the best case, but it's better than the red-blue pair, so I'm just gonna do it next. And for the last pair, I can solve it like from here instead of rotating first to like reduce the move count and get a couple edges. And then straight into this. And then also I do know like this is a good OLL for like a little bit of PLL prediction because this like goes down to here. So this would be orange, red, orange. And then I know from the CP recognition that I'll have adjacent. So this will be, like the headlights will be right here. And that's all I know. Like, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a T perm, but it could be a G perm. It doesn't have like, it has a very like weird pattern, so I feel like it's gonna be a G perm, but no, it's a T perm, okay. And like, I did know it would be from that angle though, so essentially I only have to like look at this side for like more information. I can do red, green if I do white. And then yellow, like, again, this is a case where like, as soon as you look at yellow, like there's no yellow pieces on yellow. So since there is one on white, it automatically seems like white's better. And it turns out, in fact, white is the better cross for sure. So I would solve this by doing L, F prime, R2, B prime. And then that does create this block, but I can't really use it because like that's right there. So I just traced this for first pair, the red and green. and like I see this in the front as well. And I was able to track an inspection that this pair like would be like this. So like right now, the only information that I don't know on the cube is what's in this slot. So I have to like rely on the front and the top right now to like find the orange, blue, and orange, green. And like out of these pairs, like I'm not sure which one I would see first. I would just kind of pick one of them. And then I guess I can do a pseudo slot. So I'm gonna show how I would solve this. Like, okay. So this case is essentially like this. So if I'm solving red, blue, the way I solve this is with fat F moves like that, and then insert the free pair. So I'm gonna do D2, fat F moves, and then insert the pair, D2, and then that just leaves me with this last pair. Okay, and then this OLO comes up again. This time we get solve CP with a bar right here. So this doesn't look familiar to me, so I don't think it's the PLL skip case, but it will be a U-perm with the solve side right here. So like it's just a matter of, is this edge gonna be adjacent or opposite? So it's adjacent. Okay. I feel like we're definitely like getting there with the limits of my C-flop knowledge, but I think if we hit 8 solves, we'll definitely cover it. No particular bias towards that number, by the way. Okay, so we can get a 3-move 2x2x2 with UL or U prime L F prime. But I might. I'm trying to think of the best angle to do it. This is unfortunate. This angle sucks. This angle, I guess this is the best angle. It does leave me with it in the back left. So definitely, like if you have a 3-move X cross, play in second pair as well. And I would do blue red, so that corner is going to end up in the top, and it ends up right here like this. And I mean, if I saw it, I could do green orange, but honestly I don't think I would. So I'll just show what I would do. And I mean, you also could solve this pair like this. Oh wait. Yeah, like that, L2. But for me, I haven't learned how to like trace pieces when doing that, so I would just solve it like this for now. And then it's actually like pretty easy to look ahead to last pair if I do the F inverse sec C F prime into solve like that. And like, yeah, if I do F inverse sec C F prime, it doesn't affect this at all. So all I need to trace is what's going to happen when I do that trigger. And then solve CP and a U-perm. Pretty good solves. I hope to have demonstrated some like look ahead techniques that I feel like aren't really covered in example solves most of the time, and hopefully some interesting like creative solutions as well. Thanks for watching.